I can't tell you how long I have had this sitting in the shelves of my supply closet, but a long time. Years perhaps, because it has intimidated the stew out of me. Today is the day we start it. Hey everybody, and welcome back to Art a la Carte, and the next video in my 2022 challenge of trying something new. And today I am tackling this craft kit that I bought years and years ago. It is a replica of the bakery from Studio Ghibli's Kiki's delivery service, but it is incredibly small and all the instructions are in Japanese. It does have a few, well, it has some good photo references, and I think with Google Translate I'm hoping to figure it out. There had been a video of someone putting one of these together, but I went back to look to see if I could find the video and haven't had luck yet finding this model. I found some other model kits, but everything supposedly is inside this package except for glue, a craft blade to kind of cut the pieces out. But I'm excited. I'm nervous because this is not a cheap kit. I think this was almost $50 when I purchased this, and it's very easy to mess it up and destroy it. So hopefully I won't make any mistakes, but I'm probably will because life. So let's get into this build. So each cardboard piece is numbered with a letter, and then every piece in it is individually numbered, so it's pretty easy to find which piece you're supposed to punch out first. It's a thicker cardstock, so it's nice and durable, and then there's just little tiny points on it that haven't been cut all the way through so that the pieces don't fall out and you lose them, so it's really secure. But it is slightly time consuming to find each one of those little tiny parts and snip those or cut those. On the bigger pieces, not so worrying, but there are some really fine, like pieces that have been cut almost to the width of a hair, and if you don't do it right, you destroy the entire piece, which loses some of the charm. But I don't know if you guys can see up close, there's so much detail. It even has the Good Cooking Pen Bakery. So for those of you who don't know about Studio Ghibli, it is an animation studio in Japan and one of my absolute favorite studios. I think probably even more so than Disney. While Disney had a larger influence in my childhood life, Studio Ghibli has had a profound influence in my teen years and adult years. So if you haven't had a chance to watch any of the Studio Ghibli movies, highly recommend them. I would start off with either Howl's Moving Castle or Spirited Away, My Neighbor Totoro. This one is probably one that I relate to the most is Kiki's delivery service, because it's a story about a young girl who goes to start off her life, and her black cat find a little village next to the coast and move in with a family and live in their attic, and that's how she starts her life. And very similarly, when I was a youngling, I jumped in my car with my black cat and just drove and found a little cute town by the ocean, and now I live in someone's attic. So I am pretty much Kiki. Now I have made different projects out of paper before, and I've recorded a couple of them, but they've all been designs that I have made myself. I did a Alice in Wonderland themed paper. Mostly I work with wood and do like dollhouse miniatures and things like that, and never this small. This is mind-bogglingly small, my poor eyeballs. So note for the future, if I should ever do another one of these, a magnifying glass would be very helpful. But tips for anyone who wants to try one of these kits, and I'll put in the description box the link where I bought these on Amazon. They have a whole bunch. You can even get the bathhouse from Spirited Away. I wouldn't buy it because it's almost $500, and I am too prone to making mistakes and ruining entire builds to risk $500, but that might be something that you dream about, having a gigantic paper bathhouse. But yeah, check it out. They're just really fun to look at. But a couple tips for you. First of all, it's not as hard as you might think. So I really wish I would have done this earlier in life because it was really fun and it's so cute. I'm loving how it's turning out. But check and double check before you glue. I did make one mistake later on in the build, and I glued the little wooden framing work to the wrong side. And I ended up having to try to repair it and totally destroyed it. So I had to make my own. I used the paper and kind of cut little strips and glued them. It doesn't look 100% like the original, but if I didn't tell someone that I made that mistake, I don't think anyone would notice. So take your time, double check, triple check to make sure that you have things on the right side before you glue. And then also remember, the less glue is better. So sometimes I'll put a lot of glue on the pieces and it kind of scooches out the side, and then I get this kind of gooey glue boogers, and you kind of have to go around with your needle tool and kind of pick those up. So that's a little bit challenging. But those are my two super big tips for this, along with having some sort of magnifying glass. I think would help, especially if you have old eyes like me. I think my younger eyes would have been fine with it, but older eyes is a little challenging. And I did not record, well actually I recorded about 3 hours of the build process, which is not even near all of the time I spent. I spent my 2 days off working on this project, pretty much the whole day. But I just kind of want to give you a couple highlights. Also, because this was such a small build, I zoomed my camera in and I found a good portion of my recording I was never in frame, so that was frustrating. But again, I think it would have been a boring video to watch the entire build unless I supersonic speed through the whole thing. But I thought I would give you a little highlights of some different parts of the process. The individual tiny little prop pieces were so cute. Like Kiki's broom was made up of 3 different pieces. But I will tell you that multiple times on different pieces, you just breathe wrong, or you push down on the needle tool a little too hard, and that piece goes flying through the air, and good luck finding it. I did drop the broom. My heart just sunk into my chest. I mean, I probably could have recreated the broom and cut it out, but it would not have been this cute. I spent like 10 minutes on my hands and knees on the floor looking for the broom and finally found it. That was so scary. I did have one piece that flew off. I couldn't find it, so I ended up cutting it out. It was a little square with a tiny little square inside of it, and after I finished the entire build and was cleaning up the mess, I found the piece. About too late though. Ooh, another tip. I have these pliers, or these tweezers. These are craft tweezers, and they retain pressure. So like when you squeeze them, they open up, and when you unsqueeze them, they clamp close. That was really helpful because sometimes holding these really tiny pieces was hard. And being able to put them in the tweezers and let the tweezers hold them, and then I just had to hold the tweezers was really helpful, but also I didn't have to pinch the tweezers all the time to keep the tension. So quickly I want to talk about a couple of other new things I want to try this year, which I'm seeming to like want to do them all right now because I can't wait. This 2022 is not going to be just videos of me trying new things, but I do have a handful of things that I want to try. So I don't know exactly when all these new videos are going to come out, but they'll be sprinkled in throughout your regular Art a la carte content. But 2 things I want to try taking up. One I've tried a little bit, but not successfully, so I went ahead and purchased a really nice kit and supplies for it. But I want to try my hand at felting, making little critters, and maybe working into making some sort of fabric or fibrous figurines. If that makes sense to you. If it doesn't and you're curious as to what it means, make sure to hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on that video, because I got plans, I got the supplies, I got this really cool kit and a whole bunch of colorful wool to felt with. And the second thing I want to try is Mandala Dot Art. Super excited about that. I've never been great at symmetrical things or keeping a precise pattern, so this might be challenging for me. I don't know how this is going to work, but I also got another kit for that, so I'm gonna try those 2. I have them. They're sitting on my desk waiting for me to jump into them, so it'll probably be sooner than later. But I do have plans on posting a 100 draw character episode coming up. I haven't started drawing them yet, so I need to sit down and draw them. But I'm hoping to get that up maybe the next video after this. And then I have a tutorial video coming up talking about drawing ruffles on dresses. So if you've ever wanted to draw a frilly or a ruffly dress, I have a video coming up on that. Let's look at some glamour shots of this beautiful build. Again, so stinking tiny, I love it. I'm thinking about getting like a little glass dome to put over top of it because I don't want to dust this. That's the end of this build. It was super fun. I enjoyed it. It was challenging. My eyeballs were falling out of their sockets, but I had so much fun not being afraid of this and just going for it. So be brave, be awesome, and until next time, God bless you guys, and we'll see you in the next art video. Bye-bye.